Imagine being trapped beneath the earth, with no way out as the world above watches helplessly. This was the fate of Floyd Collins, who in 1925 became a symbol of both human resilience and tragedy. For over 2 weeks, Floyd was entombed in a cave, unable to escape and fighting for survival, while the world followed every agonizing moment of his fight for life. But in the end, the true horror of his fate lay in what remained untold. In the hills of Kentucky, where natural beauty hides dark secrets, the cave system known as Sand Cave became the site of one of the most tragic and widely publicized events in American history. Floyd Collins, a man of immense courage, had spent his life exploring and charting the underground passages of this labyrinth, often losing himself in the thrill of discovery. Little did he know, his quest for adventure would soon turn into an agonizing fight for survival that would captivate the entire nation. In 1925, Floyd was 36 years old, a passionate spelunker who had spent years exploring caves, searching for new passages and undiscovered chambers. His work was admired by his fellow explorers, and he had a reputation for being an expert in his field. But it was his search for a new cave entrance that would lead him into the dark, confined space of Sand Cave, where his fate would take a tragic turn. Floyd's quest to find new caves was driven by his obsession with discovering something that would make him famous, a dream that many adventurers share. But in late January 1925, as Floyd entered the narrow, uncharted passages of Sand Cave, he had no idea that he would soon become trapped inside, unable to escape. The day began like many others, exciting, full of promise, and driven by the thrill of discovery. But as Floyd ventured deeper into the cave, tragedy struck. He crawled into a narrow section of the cave when the floor beneath him suddenly gave way, and a heavy rock slab fell, pinning him underneath. Despite his best efforts to free himself, Floyd was trapped, unable to move, and facing the terror of being entombed alive. He tried to remain calm, but the weight of the rock and the realization of his situation began to sink in. Floyd Collins' immediate instinct was survival. He attempted to dislodge the rock pinning him, but the claustrophobic space and the intensity of the injury made escape impossible. As the hours turned into days, his isolation from the outside world began to take its toll on his mind. He called for help, his voice echoing in the dark silence, but there was no one to hear him. His only company was the darkness and the eerie sounds of his own breathing. What would it have been like for Floyd, trapped alone in the cave? Imagine the terror he would have likely thought of his family, his friends, and the life he might never get to live again. The psychological strain of being trapped in such a confined space, with no escape in sight, must have been overwhelming. His hopes slowly faded, but a part of him must have held on, still believing that someone would come to rescue him. As the days passed, the outside world became aware of Floyd's plight. Word spread quickly, and the story of the man trapped in the cave captured the attention of the nation. News outlets followed every twist and turn of the rescue effort. Thousands of people arrived at the site, eager to witness the dramatic rescue. It was the first time in history that a rescue operation of this magnitude had been broadcast to such a wide audience. As rescuers worked tirelessly to free Floyd, the pressure to succeed mounted. Yet, as days turned into weeks, it became clear that Floyd's chance of survival was dwindling. The psychological toll on the rescuers was just as profound as it was on Floyd himself. Their efforts were met with repeated failures, and with each attempt, the hope of saving Floyd slipped further away. The public, who had once been hopeful, began to face the grim reality that they may never see Floyd alive again. After 17 days trapped in the cave, with little hope of survival, Floyd Collins passed away. His body was found, but his spirit of determination and bravery had already left an indelible mark on the world. His death was a devastating blow, not only to his family but also to the entire nation, who had followed his story with bated breath. Floyd's tragedy sparked debates about the dangers of cave exploration and the psychological effects of isolation and confinement. His story also brought attention to the importance of safety measures in exploration. The loss of Floyd Collins served as a wake-up call, reminding the world of both the extraordinary courage of those who push the limits of human endurance and the dark, unforgiving nature of the earth itself. Floyd's death marked a turning point for the caving community and the world at large. The tragedy exposed the vulnerabilities of spelunkers and led to significant changes in safety protocols for cave exploration. There was also an emotional shift in how people viewed adventurers like Floyd, once admired for their courage, but now also seen as victims of their own ambitions. In the years that followed, Floyd's story continued to echo through the corridors of caving history. His name became synonymous with the dangers that lurk beneath the Earth's surface. The psychological scars of his death remained, not only for his family but for the many who had watched helplessly as the rescue efforts failed. Floyd Collins' story is a sobering reminder of the thin line between human ambition and nature's ruthless power. It raises the question: what drives someone to venture into such dangerous spaces? Is it the desire for glory, the quest for knowledge, or simply the human need to explore the unknown? As we reflect on Floyd's tragedy, we are forced to confront our own limits, the limits of our resilience, our courage, and our understanding of the forces that shape the world around us. Floyd Collins did not die in vain. His story serves as both a tribute to human endurance and a cautionary tale about the dangers of pushing too far into the unknown. Floyd Collins' story is a tale of bravery, tragedy, and the resilience of the human spirit. What would you have done in his place? Could you have held on to hope the way Floyd did? Or would you have given up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're fascinated by stories of survival and adventure, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more gripping tales from the world's darkest corners.